Hello and welcome to this video lesson on number sense, where we are going to learn about evaluating expressions using the order of operations. But before we get into that, let's review our language and learning goals. Our learning goal for this lesson is I can evaluate expressions using the order of operations. And our language goal for this lesson is I can talk about the order of operations using words like variables, brackets, expressions, evaluate, and simplify. Before we get started, I think it would be a good idea to review some key vocabulary. Let's start with the word expression. An expression is a mathematical statement with at least one number or variable and at least one operation. Evaluating means to find the value of an expression, and we can see the word value right inside the word evaluate and evaluating. And often we evaluate an expression by substituting a given number for the variable in an expression. Next, let's review what simplifying means. Simplifying is the process of reducing an expression to a shorter and shorter form to make it easier to work with. So when we calculate the answer to an expression, we evaluate and then simplify that expression. Okay, let's remember what we learned last week about the order of operations. Let's say we're asked to evaluate this expression, 16 minus 4 divided by 2. Now, if we do the operations in order from left to right, we get the answer 6. But if we do the division first, we get the answer 14. Now, as we talked about last week, I'm sure we can all see how this could lead to some confusion. So, to make sure that everyone always gets the same answer when evaluating an expression, we use a specific order of operations. And you can remember this order using the acronym BEDMAS. So, what do all the letters in BEDMAS stand for? Let's remember. B stands for brackets. So we always start by doing any operations inside brackets first. E stands for exponents. So we do operations that involve exponents second. Then we have D for division and M for multiplication. We do operations involving division and multiplication in order from left to right after we've taken care of any brackets and exponents that there may be in the expression. And finally, we have addition and subtraction. And we do addition and subtraction in order from left to right after we've taken care of brackets, exponents, division, and multiplication. And that's BEDMAS, an easy way to remember the order of operations. It's actually really simple once you remember this acronym BEDMAS and what each one of the letters stands for, and you just follow it through in that exact order. Now, if we were to evaluate the same expression using the order of operations, we remember BEDMAS tells us to do the division before the subtraction. So as we simplify our expression, we do the division first, and we get 16 minus 2, which leaves us with 14 as the only correct way to evaluate this expression. When we evaluate expressions, one of the most common ways of doing it is to rewrite a simplified expression underneath our original expression and then keep going until we have the simplest or shortest form of the expression. Let's take a look. If we start with the expression 4 times 7 minus 2 plus 1, now if we remember the order of operations or that handy acronym BEDMAS, we start with brackets. We don't have any, so we skip to exponents. We don't have any of those either. Do we have division and multiplication? Yes, we do. We have multiplication, and we need to do that first in order from left to right. So our first operation is 4 times 7. So that leaves us with 28 minus 2 plus 1 as our more simple expression. Our next step is to do 28 minus 2, and that's because we only have addition and subtraction left, so we do them in order from left to right. Okay, that leaves us with an even simpler form of the expression, 26 plus 1. Now, we can continue to evaluate the expression by writing the value just below, like this, 27. Or we can write it as an equation, like this, 26 plus 1 equals 27. It usually is more common, though, to just write the value of the expression like this, but neither one is wrong. Both are valid. Let's practice another one together. This time we're going to evaluate this expression, 4 times 7 minus brackets 2 plus 1, close brackets. Pause the video here and try and work this one out on your own. Which step did you take first to simplify the expression? Did you simplify it to 4 times 7 minus 3 by doing the operation in the brackets first? If you did, give yourself a big pat on the back for following the order of operations correctly. Okay, so what is our next operation that we need to do? Our expression has been simplified to 4 times 7 minus 3. Which operation do we do next? Did you say do the multiplication first? If so, you know what to do. Big old pat on the back for remembering the order of operations. Now we have a very simplified form of our expression, 28 minus 3. And to fully evaluate our expression, we write its value, 25. Or if you prefer, you could write 28 minus 3 equals 25. We can evaluate expressions using large numbers as well. Now, you're going to want to grab your calculator for this one, so make sure you have it handy. And remember, not all calculators follow the order of operations. Some calculators can follow a simple order of operations like this one, which can do it for about 2 or 3 operations, but then they might get stuck after that. So it's always important to pay close attention and follow the operations in the correct order yourself. Let's take a look. We start with the expression 156 times 283 plus 215 times 132. I'm glad we're using a calculator for this one. Now, we remember our BEDMAS, brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So we know we need to start with multiplying and we go from left to right. So our first operation that we do is 156 times 283. And that gives us 44,148 plus 215 times 132. So again, remembering the order of operations, multiplication comes before addition. So we are going to do that 215 times 132 first. And that leaves us with a very simplified form of the expression, 44,148 plus 28,380. Again, we continue to evaluate the expression by writing the value just below 72,528, or we can write it as an equation like this. Okay, let's do another one together. Again, you are going to want to have your calculator handy for this. We start with the expression 245 times 138 divided by brackets 7 plus 23, close brackets. Now, pause the video, copy down this expression, and try to evaluate it by yourself. Okay, which operation did you do first? Now, again, we just have to remember BEDMAS. Brackets comes first, so we need to start with 7 plus 23 first. Now we have 2 operations left. 245 times 138 divided by 30. What order should we do these last 2 operations in? Did you say to do the remaining multiplication and division in order from left to right? If you did, you know what to do. Big old pat on the back for getting that order of operations correct. Way to go. So that means the next operation that we have to do is 245 times 138. That leaves us with a nice and simplified form of our expression, 33,810 divided by 30. So plug that into your calculator and write the final value of the expression, 1,127 at the very bottom, or if you prefer, you can write it out as an equation. Now, here's one for you to try on your own. Copy this expression down and evaluate it all by yourself. Have fun and good luck.